One man's name became synonymous with absolute power for over 2,000 years. When you hear Caesar, you don't just think of a person. You think of emperors, of conquest, of ambition so fierce it shattered a republic and birthed an empire. But Julius Caesar's path to immortality began with a death sentence at 16. Born into minor aristocracy in 100 BC, young Gaius Julius Caesar faced a terrifying choice: flee Rome or die. The dictator Sulla had marked him for execution simply because Caesar's family had ties to Sulla's enemies. Most teenagers would have bent the knee. Caesar ran, but he didn't hide. He was captured, bribed his way to freedom, and returned to Rome the moment Sulla died, already plotting his rise. What most people don't know is that Caesar found gladiator fights boring. While Romans screamed for blood in the Colosseum, Caesar was studying military tactics, mastering rhetoric, and seducing the most powerful women in Rome, including Cleopatra, who would smuggle herself to him wrapped in a carpet. At 20, he was already a war hero. By 30, he'd become Pontifex Maximus, Rome's chief priest, through pure political cunning. But Caesar's masterstroke was the first triumvirate, a secret alliance with Pompey and Crassus that carved up the Roman world between three men. When his partners grew suspicious, Caesar did something unprecedented. He conquered Gaul, modern-day France, in 8 brutal years, adding a territory larger than Rome itself and amassing wealth that dwarfed the state treasury. The Senate panicked. They ordered Caesar to disband his armies and return to Rome as a private citizen, essentially a death sentence for his political career. Instead, Caesar made a decision that changed history forever. On January 10th, 49 BC, he crossed the Rubicon River with a single legion, uttering the words, "The die is cast." Civil war erupted across the Roman world. 3 years later, Caesar stood victorious. He became dictator for life, reformed the calendar we still use today, and was preparing to conquer Persia when 23 senators, led by Brutus, possibly his own son, surrounded him in the theater of Pompey. As the daggers fell, Caesar saw Brutus among his assassins and spoke his final words, "Et tu, Brute?" Even you, Brutus? But death couldn't stop Caesar. His adopted heir Octavian would become Augustus, the first Roman emperor. The title Caesar would be claimed by rulers from Czar to Kaiser. 2 millennia later, we still live in the shadow of a man who gambled everything on a single river crossing and won immortality. If you find this video adding value to your life in any way, please take a moment and subscribe and like. And if you want to go further, write one word: value, because it helps with the algorithm so other people who need it can find it. It's free and a way to give back to me. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you.